This is the 17th season of Bass Talk Live with your hosts, Mark Jeffries and Matt Pingrack. BTL is brought to you by Lowrance, Bass Cat Boats, APCO, Ducket Fishing, Strike King Lures, Sunline, Big Bite Baits, Spro, Exo Lures, Yamagatsu, The Bass Tank, and Denali Rods. BTL coming at you. Good Monday evening, everybody. Welcome once again to another edition of BTL Bass Talk Live, where we are going to talk bass fishing and anything else that we want to talk about. Yes, it is a rare evening show for us, but the man that usually sits to my right, he is on the road for a solid month. Along with Brad Hallman, they are getting ready for the Open that is taking place at Douglas Lake. So, guys, thanks for being a part of this tonight.
This is a complete cluster. I don't know what. We've got a stool on top of an Asics shoebox leaned up against Brad's phone. There literally is no lighting in our VRBO, so there's one lamp in the entire living room. We have no good 5G service because they have the lowest grade internet. We both just got off the water.
Well, that's the life of a professional angler right there, Matthew.
I'm not a professional angler, but
trying to be.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. All right, you're going to have to talk a little louder because the volume is...
issues.
All right.
Can you go in? You have the thing that fixes it to where the volume goes up.
Well, let me try it. Hopefully we don't have an echo issue. So let me try this.
Brad just ate a moonshine peach.
All right, let me bump it up a little bit. All right, say something.
There's no lighting behind us. There's no way to increase our lighting issues. This is
as good as we get.
This is very low rent. This is very disappointing. And I got off the water 45 minutes early to make sure that we were all set up and ready to go. And then we end up with a different phone in a different location with the worst lighting we've had.
Well, actually, when you checked it last night, you said everything was cool last night.
Yeah, everything was cool, and it's not now.
All right. Well,
I'm agitated. Can you tell that I'm agitated?
Dude, you're always agitated.
No,
you're on the edge.
I'm actually agitated right now because I wanted to have this dialed in, and it's not dialed in. And
it's not.
A happy camper.
But it's good to go, and we're going to make it work. And, Brad, thanks for joining the show tonight. Greatly appreciate it. A ton to talk about. All right, Matthew, I need to kind of set up the week on what's going on. You don't even know what's going on.
No, we can't set up the week first because we have to get to the most important thing.
Well, that's part of setting up the week, all right, is what we launched yesterday on BassZone.com.
Ah.
What did we launch, Matthew?
We got merch. So technically, I was working with Catherine from the store, and we have 5 things. We have a black, kind of a designer long sleeve tee, a white tee, a soft cotton shirt, Richardson 112 with the patch hat, and then a black hoodie. Those are the 5 things. And I've been back and forth with Catherine from ATS for like 3 months on this. Because remember, I've always been like, oh, we'll have it next week. And then we actually got the thing. So she's like, hey, here it is. And I was like, yeah, I think it looks good. It's good to go. And she's like, okay, well, the link is live. And this was, what, Friday? What is today? What day of the week is today?
Today is Tuesday.
No,
Monday. Today's Monday.
Monday? Today's Monday?
Yes, today is Monday.
So Saturday, she sent it and was like, hey, it's good to go. And I'm like, so people can order stuff. Yeah, so I just threw a little link in my Instagram bio. So there's several people. There have already been over 100 things ordered, Mark.
That's very nice.
That's just from the Instagram. But, so it officially launches. I guess it was supposed to be this morning, but to now, like right now, it's live. There's a big banner on BassZone.com, like right there where you click it says go to the store. There's also a link in my Instagram bio. And following the show, there will be a link on Facebook. But that's how you can get your BTL merchandise. Now, it's only open until the 25th at midnight. That's it. And there's a limited number of the hats because I had to buy the patches and I didn't know how many patches people were, how many hats people were going to buy, so I didn't go overboard on them. So if you want to get a hat, make sure it's kind of like that, like with the the patch, it says BTL on it.
Yeah.
But
so Richardson 112, right?
Yeah. So there you go. The swag is live, and now we'll just be mercilessly pumping it for the next 13 days.
All right. Once again, folks, if you want to find the link, all you got to do is go to basszone.com. Big, huge banner right there on the front page. Just click on that. It will take you directly to the merch page. Now, a couple of things, all right, on the merch. This is like Matt's little project. This is all Matt. All right, I had nothing to do with it. This is all Matt. And part of the reason why we're doing this for a limited time, folks, is the profits from the sale of the merch is actually going to help Matt out fund his 9 opens, right? Going to help out with the expenses that he has. So not only are you getting some great merch that Matt put together, you're actually helping out the cause and helping him out with expense for all of the costs that exist in trying to fish 9 opens. So help the dude out, buy some merch. Hey, we'll have more in the future, right, Matt?
That the game plan, if this goes well, is every 6 months we'll do 2-week. I don't want to sound like trendy, but a merch drop for 2 weeks every 6 months. So like a lot more hoodies and like maybe a beanie and stuff that'll be October, November, and then again in the spring. What are you eating, Brad?
I'm having a pickle now.
Brad has been.
Let me show you something, Mark. You know where we are, right?
Yes.
We're in East Tennessee.
That is correct. Your old stomping ground.
Yeah. Well, before I even got here, a good friend of mine, John Peters, wanted the address to our house, and he made a delivery before I ever came. So these are East Tennessee peaches and East Tennessee pickles, but they are soaked in, you got it, moonshine.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So just, when you get off the water after a long, hard day,
yeah,
you have a little pickle, you have a little peach smothered in moonshine, and then, Marcus, you get this is it. You wash it down with a little apple pie.
Yeah. You know what that would do for me as a result of my accident? It would be water because I can't taste or smell squat. I could drink whatever I want, eat whatever I want. I can't taste a darn thing.
You wouldn't be able to taste that?
No. Nothing.
Seriously.
Yeah.
And they said, what, a year before that comes back?
If it doesn't come back within a year, I will not get it back. And it's a common occurrence for people that have head injuries, brain injuries, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
No, Brad walked in, was it last night or 2 nights ago?
Yeah.
And he had like a quarter bottle of that. And he's like, you guys know what this is? And I was like, why are you carrying a urine sample around?
Oh, jeez.
Because that's what he said. No, man, that's moonshine.
Oh, jeez. All right.
Win in Rome.
I'm with you, man. All right, so, folks, there it is. Help Matt out on his quest this year. Help him out with a little bit on the expense side and get some great stuff that he's put together.
Get that if you think it's cool stuff and you like BTL. That's what it is.
The hats are legit.
We've had people asking for BTL merchandise for the past 9 years. I mean, I wore that. We got a hoodie the first year of BTL, which would have been 2010. No, 2007.
Yeah.
8.
Something like that. Long time ago.
One run of hats, and that's all. So.
All right, here's the other thing real quick I need to point out before I get into the week stuff, and then we're going to talk about how you guys did during your first quest of practice here on Douglas Lake. Now, the other thing that is on the main page of basszone.com, there is another banner directly underneath the merch banner, of which Matt's going to be gone for a month. If you want to be and think that you have everything necessary to be a guest host on BTL, click on that banner, submit your entry, and tell me why you think you would be a great fit to sub and pitch hint for Matt while he's gone on a couple of shows when I can't get anybody lined up to be a guest host. It's super easy. It doesn't take you that long. Just click on that link. It automatically gets routed to me, and then I will put together a list for myself, and then I will read everything, and then I will make a selection on who's going to be a guest host over the next couple of weeks when I can't get either Frank Scalish or Ken Duke or some special guest hosts like what we're going to have on Wednesday, and I'll get into that here in a minute. Folks, if you want to be part of the show, just click on that link, submit your form, and then we'll get after it. All right, now, guys, let me set up the week real quick, and then we'll dive into some stuff. Tomorrow, a jam-packed show. Guest host tomorrow is going to be Ken Duke. Our special guest tomorrow in the AM, first part of the show, we're going to have Jason Christie on, who got it done down in Orange, Texas. Only 40 pounds. Only 43 pounds. But did what he had to do, and can't wait to talk to him about what was going on and him capturing another blue trophy. Then, in the afternoon, we're going to have the man that just absolutely smashed them at the heavy hitters. We're going to have Fletcher Shryock on in the second half of the show and talk about what's going on in North Carolina with the heavy hitters that will wrap up this week. And they are down, I think they're down to 20 anglers now after 2 rounds in 2 days. So we'll talk to Fletcher tomorrow. He's automatically in the final round. On Wednesday, excited about this one. The guest host, who do you think it is, Matthew?
It's not. Is it not Ken Duke?
It's not Ken Duke.
It's not Frank Scalish.
It's not Frank Scalish.
Oh, I saw it.
Gary Judici.
No, it's Jeffrey's man crush.
Who's your man crush?
Miles Burkhoff is going to be the guest host on Wednesday.
Hey,
all right,
here's the
and
true story.
listen.
I got Miles Burghoff addicted to jalapeno pickled quail's eggs from Buc-ee's.
No, very nice. Yeah, so he's going to be the guest host on Wednesday. Our special guest is going to be Andy Newcomb. What did he do?
He just won a tournament.
Yeah, we're at.
Is he the Dale Hollow?
Dude, are you kidding me?
Dragon? Texoma?
What would be a lake of interest?
Texoma? Grand?
No. Grand Lake. Good grief.
I just said
We
Grand
said it
three
3
times.
times.
Oh, I didn't hear you.
I was thinking Grand as well.
Yeah, Grand. Didn't hear you. He had 52, almost 53 pounds over 4 days, and a lot of the local guys did very well, but the Missouri Angler is going to hopefully give up the juice on Wednesday with Miles being the guest host on what went down at Grand Lake. We had a ton of wind here, and I don't know how bad it was in eastern Oklahoma when that event was taking place, but it was brutal in western and central Oklahoma. We'll talk to him about that on Wednesday. And then Thursday, obviously day 4 with Frank Scalish, and we're going to dive into whatever Frank wants to talk about on Thursday. And then on Monday of the following week, we will have the winner of the heavy hitters on Monday. I believe Ken Duke is going to be the guest host that day. And I'm really close, guys, really, really close to having a guy that doesn't do interviews very often. This guy does not do interviews very often, but with my sources, I'd say right now we're about 85% in getting J.P. Morris on the show. Wow. John Paul Morris. Now, do you know who John Paul Morris is?
No.
That is Johnny's son.
That's what I was saying.
All right?
Wow.
All right, and I have been working very hard to get somebody from Bass Pro Shops on to talk about a number of items that are taking place on the business side. And through one contact that I have that has been working really, really hard for me, we are really close to getting J.P. Morris on the show next week. So if it goes down, it's going to go down on Wednesday of next week, or we may have to reschedule based upon his schedule. But we are trying, and we're super close in getting him on to talk about a lot of stuff that is associated with the business side of this game, including reduction in pro staff, consolidation,
The new multi-million-dollar tournament trail that they just started.
That's what I was
exactly. I mean, that's part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's part of it. So a jam-packed couple of weeks, and folks, I want to know who's going to be one of the guest hosts that we select, and hopefully we will start that next week. So that's kind of
you click on the banner.
Do what now?
You click on the banner, and then you submit.
It takes you directly to a form that you fill out.
Okay, so it's all based on your written word, not a video.
Yeah, it's just a paragraph. I mean, it's just a couple of sentences. Tell me why you want to be a guest host.
Okay. All
right. Got some good ones.
You like to read submissions. Remember when we made when we did fish and chips and we made the local teams write an essay as to why they should be selected for fish and chips, and then we anonymously read them and ranked them, and then the top 2 local teams got in fish and chips.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah. All good stuff coming up here on BTL. So, and then every morning, the plan is, as long as you got a cell signal, we're going to be checking in with Matt to see how things are going on the water first thing in the morning, like the first 10 minutes of the show. Hopefully he'll have a good cell signal, and he can clue us in on what's going on there on Douglas Lake. All right, Brad, you go first. What can you tell the folks about what's going down so far very early in the practice session for the Open at Douglas Lake?
Oh, I got a good story for you guys. So this morning was my second morning on the lake, and I get up this morning, and I've got an F-250 diesel pickup truck that's got 37-inch tires on like a 6-inch lift, right?
Yeah.
Mark and I are both like 6'5", 6'6", and it's a climb up in it for he and I.
Oh, yeah.
Needless to say, those 37-inch tires, if you're going to haul any tackle or anything like that in the back of your truck, takes up all the room. So I've been playing Russian roulette for like the last 2.5, 3 years with this pickup. I don't carry a spare tire because it takes up too much room. Now, it's got the big nubbies on it, and I've actually hit a couple of things that it didn't damage the tires, and I got lucky.
Right.
So this morning I crawl in my truck to go to the boat ramp, and I start driving to the boat ramp, and I'm drinking my coffee, and I'm thinking about my day, and I've got to get this done and that done and blah, blah, blah. And I've only got 2 more full days of practice left. And my little light comes on that says low tire. So I got to make a decision. I'm sitting at the boat ramp, and I'm like, God, I want to dump my boat so bad and just deal with it tonight when I get in. And I'm like, dude, you don't have an air compressor. You don't have a tire. And you're in East Tennessee, this is not good. And I'm doing the math on the clock. I'm early, so, nothing's open. Anyway, long story short, I decided to go to the tire shop. And I have a little plug deal. That's even a different story, but I couldn't get it to work. But, I ended up having to wait till they opened, and then I finally got on the water about 11:30 today, which the day was not a very stellar day. Day one, in typical fashion, was off the chain, great. This lake is falling about a half a foot a day, and a lot of fish that I was catching, or was getting bit by, I do believe were spawners. So where they repositioned 4 days later with the lake 3 foot lower, I don't know. But yesterday was a really good day. Today was really kind of like it started.
All right, Matthew?
The phone call thing here.
We're good.
We're back.
Yeah.
I'm just the opposite. My first day was bad, and then today was better for me. So it's a cool lake. So it's interesting. Cumberland is not that far away from here.
No.
Which I didn't even realize till I got here, and I caught him at Cumberland. So I tried to kind of take some of that mojo and bring it over here. But there's some rock on this lake that, if you were to fall on it, you would die. It's the craziest stuff I've ever seen. It's just straight up and pointy, and it's just in sheets of it. And it's 3 foot tall off. You cannot get a lure through it. And it's the craziest, most deadliest. I mean, have you ever had your boat on that stuff?
I haven't seen it yet.
It's it looks kind of like cathedral rock. I don't think that's the name of it, but it should be. It should be called Cathedral Rock because it's looks really ornate, very dangerous. It's like if Game of Thrones had rock. It's like rock out of Game of Thrones.
Have you tried flipping it?
No.
So what happened? Cherokee is really close to this lake, right?
Yeah.
And what happened over there is they caught them flipping that stuff. Even though it looks gnarly, they were all the way on the bank behind all that stuff, spawning in the holes of it.
Yeah, I don't know if it's setting up like that here.
Okay. Just thought I'd throw that out there.
No, I should definitely.
I haven't seen. He's at a different part of the lake than I am, so I haven't seen the Cathedral Rock.
I'm doing what I'm comfortable in, and Brad's doing what Brad's comfortable in.
I'm in the mud, Mark.
And I'm not comfortable with what I found yet. I mean, we'll see. I caught a big smallmouth today. It was kind of cool.
Is there a size limit on the smallmouth there? I don't remember.
15 inches, just like everything else. It was probably between 3.5 and 4 pounds.
Cool.
It was my personal best Douglas Lake smallmouth. It's my
Was it spawned out?
No, I think it was spawning, actually. Yep. Angry red eyes. Does that mean that they're spawning when they're red?
I've heard that before.
Is that
all right?
Is that a wives' tale or is that true? Are the smallmouth eyes red?
I caught some off the bed that I saw that didn't have red eyes, so I don't know what to
tell you. Have you ever caught one that obviously wasn't spawning that had red eyes, though?
It obviously wasn't spawning. Yes.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, in the summertime.
Oh, okay, then never mind.
All right.
What
Well,
do
let's
you
do.
think, Mark?
Do what?
Do you think they have red eyes when they're spawning?
Yeah, I think so.
Do they
think
change
so.
colors?
What, their eyes?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. But I'm not for sure. I've seen them like that. I've seen them like that at 10 Killer before. The smallmouth.
Yeah.
When they're spawning. All right, let's do this. Let's take a quick break. And then I want to get back into what the theme was this past weekend.
Yeah,
and get your guys'
blood red.
Oh, you took a picture of it?
Yeah, it's on my Instagram.
Dude, I don't do Instagram.
I was proud of it. I posted it right after I caught it.
Wow.
He had.
All right. Take a break. Come back about stuff that went down this weekend. And I'm telling you guys right now, the theme, you can think about this, is pressure. We're going to talk about pressure when we come back right after these short messages. Be right back.
The ultimate fishing system starts with Lowrance HDS Live. The best fish finding tools, from Chirp Sonar and Fish Reveal to active imaging and new active target live sonar, and complete touchscreen control from your trolling motor to your big motor. For a limited time, building the ultimate fishing system will be easier on your wallet. Upgrade to HDS Live with a Ghost trolling motor, active target sonar, or live site sonar, and save up to $800.
Basscat's legendary 20-foot platform has been paired with angler-approved accessories for 2021. Puma FTD features the proven hull used by many of the top names in bass fishing today, backed by a transferable lifetime warranty. The Puma FTD boasts a full team deck concept which enhances efficiency for you and your tournament partners. Turnkey tournament-winning performance. The Puma FTD SP from Basscat.
Let's face it, fishing electronics are no longer an afterthought. They've become a necessity. And at the Bass Tank, our experts match you with the right electronics, provide professional installation, and educate you to help maximize your catching results while providing support along the way. Because let's be honest, it's about catching, not just fishing. And when you're ready for better results, join the Bass Tank team. Visit us today on Facebook or go to thebasstank.com.
You've been waiting all week for this, and Sunline wants to make sure you're ready for it with bulk spools of all your favorite fishing lines.
That's so fun.
Bulk up with Sunline. Big companies get bigger and bigger and talk about their fancy labs where they study fish behavior, but then they all go golfing on the weekend. We don't have a large laboratory to test baits. Why, you ask? We don't need a big laboratory because our pros fish, our employees fish, our salespeople fish, our suppliers fish, our mold builders fish, our owners fish, and our kids fish. This is our laboratory. Our R&D comes from time on the water, learning how to make fish bite. All that time on the water brings us thousands of hours of testing new products and improving current ones for all species.
All of us on the Pro Tournament Trail use Gamakatsu hooks.
Why?
Because they are absolutely the best.
It's not about how many bites you get.
It's how many you put in the boat.
Gamakatsu makes hooks for every fishing style.
We didn't come this far to lose fish.
Did you?
For more information, visit gamakatsu.com.
All right, we are back on a special evening show here on a Monday night. And we're going to get into a little discussion here. What's that?
So
what's that?
I happen to be Facebook friends with your wife.
Okay.
And she posted a picture of you catching a big bass.
Yeah, I was going to talk about that. I mean, I'm going to get into that here in a minute.
Well, you think over the last 4 times that we've talked over the past day, you'd have been like, hey, I went bass fishing.
Dude.
I actually had a question. You made a comment earlier that actually took me to the question. Have you been to Lake X?
Yes.
You went to Lake X without you?
Is that where that picture's from?
Yes.
Oh, I'm so jealous.
Yeah. Only for a couple hours. Probably, I don't know, probably 2-3 hours because that front came through and the wind was blowing massively. So we got out of there before the wind came through and the front came through.
Wow.
And 2 hours was about my max. I mean, I was wiped after that.
Man. Good for you.
Yeah, so we'll get into that here in a minute. All right, guys, I don't know how much time that you had to see about what was taking place over the weekend, but the theme that I got from this past weekend, it was an epic weekend for me. And the reason is because the Masters was going on, the U.S. Open in bowling was going on, the Elite Series at Orange, Texas was going on, Heavy Hitters was going on. It was just a plethora of stuff that I really, really like to watch. There was a theme with everything involved, and that theme is pressure. And there were a lot of guys that did not perform under pressure, with the exception of one. Well, actually, probably more. But the one that sticks out is Jason Christie. All right? The U.S. Open and the U.S. Open in bowling, Jacob Butruff had a chance to send it to extra frames. Got the first 2, did not get the third one, threw one of the worst shots that he threw the entire game. All right? Horrible, horrible pressure. The Masters, both guys choked the last few holes, and the dude that ended up winning was fortunate that he had a 2-shot lead because he bogeyed the final hole. Neither one of them could handle the pressure. The one dude hit one of the worst shots that he hit the entire tournament at like 16, the par 3, and hit it into the water and ended up getting a triple bogey, and that cost him winning the Masters. Pressure. It's that pressure situation. All right? Heavy hitters, though, there were some guys that really, really stunk it up on day one that, oh my gosh, man, they just freaking blasted it on day 2. Dean Rojas is one of those guys. He only had 5'10" on day 1. And then on day 2, he had almost 58 pounds.
Wow.
All right? He had to catch him to make that cut, and he did. Pressure. Pressure, pressure, pressure. We talk about it all the time on this show. It was very, very prevalent this past weekend in fishing, bowling, and golf. And heck, I know the World Curling Championships were taking place, and I watched a little bit about that. And some of those guys curling, they got the tight collar too. All right, sweaty palms and the tight collar when they're trying to scoot the curl or the what's it called, Matt?
I believe that's called the rock.
The rock or whatever it is. I don't know. There was pressure on that. Pressure. Brad, I want to know, how do you handle pressure situations? Does pressure even get to you? Do you even think about it no matter what situation you're in? Is it even a part of what you're trying to accomplish? Does it affect you in any way, Brad?
Day 4 of $100,000 on the line affects everybody. I don't care what they say, including Jason Christie. Now, I will say that it really isn't about the $100,000. We want them trophies, right? That it's really what it's about.
Yeah.
But yeah, you want it, and it's. I think at some point, yeah, you got to put it behind you and go. It affects different people differently. The more you've experienced it, the easier I think it becomes.
Yeah, the decisions, and you guys probably didn't see it, but the decision that Christie made, because the area that he was fishing in, we're going to get into that tomorrow when we interview him, but the area that he was fishing, it was 2 hours away from the launch. It was constantly changing. I mean, it was way up, and then it came way down, and then the current was in there, and then there was no current. All right? But he was able to adapt and grind out 6-7 pounds after he had those first 2 big days. And we all know what Jason did. I mean, I'm not going to talk about it tomorrow, but the 3 people on this show know what happened in certain situations, all right, at big events with Jason Christie. And I was enormously impressed with what went down yesterday with Jason Christie and how he performed with pressure to get that blue trophy, man.
Dude, I heard, and I haven't talked to him. I sent him a text, and I just got a text back, just, the regular congratulations text. I heard through the grapevine that dude had 2 gallons of gas left in his boat.
He just posted he had 1.1 gallons of gas left in his boat because I guess the Garmin talks with the Yamaha, and he posted a picture, and he was like, when he got back on the final day, he had 1.1 gallons of gas left in his boat.
That in itself is pressure.
That's a pucker factor the entire day, isn't it?
That is like, I would be worried about that in bed at sleep before the day
He
started.
He kept talking about it throughout the entire tournament because I watch, I watch a lot.
Because, in the beginning, he's not got the camera guy in there. This gets a lot deeper. But so you're like trying to do the math, and you're like, man, like, you'd be out there waxing the boat. He's running aluminum now. It probably wouldn't help the old aluminum bottom, but, fiberglass, you might be waxing the bottom of it trying to get a couple more. But, yeah, Mark, pressure all week, it sounds like. But, yeah, it affects everybody. The U.S. Open, I know, had a lot of guys that were not the usuals, right? Like the big name, the Masters, Why did I say
because it was the U.S. Open of something else.
Yeah,
and
the Masters.
Bowling.
And they they wasn't the usual names, and so it was different people. Anyway, the fact that Jason Christie's winning his 6th tour win now?
Yeah.
3 FLW tours and 3 elites.
We were doing the math last night. That's 6. That's just incredible.
Yeah, we were trying to name it, and we'd be like, we guess that's it. And then someone else would be like, what about this one? Oh, yeah, there's another one. Then someone would be like, what about that one? Oh, yeah, that's another one. He probably did one of the most impressive things in fishing. I don't know what year this was, but you remember he won the FLW Tour in 2013, I believe. 2015.
Way later than that. Maybe 15. Probably 15.
It had been his first year on the Elite Series.
He went from Grand, winning an FLW Tour, to Beaver, back-to-back weeks, and won them both.
Yeah. But the performance that he put on that final day, knowing that ounces were going to make a difference in that tournament. And what some of the other guys did, Fighter, who, by the way, is now leading the Angler of the Year race, he kind of stayed close. And then you had other guys that made 2-hour runs completely the other way. And Matt and I talked about this last week, that the grinds, in my opinion, I love watching the grinds. And some of the guys and what they did, to me, was very entertaining. Some people probably didn't like it. They're probably saying, Jeffries, what are you talking about seeing value in guys catching 12-inch fish? Well, the entertainment factor and the educational factor was in how they were doing it. If you ever see the footage, Brad, of where Christie was catching those fish, you would go, man, that was badass. That was the perfect situation for what Jason was doing. It was epic. It was really, really cool. Even though the dude only caught 43 pounds in 4 days. I don't care. It was really, really cool to see what he did and really to see what the top 10 guys did, including the Japanese guy.
Yeah.
Dude, he stayed parked. He stayed parked on one area for like 4 hours and casted at this one place.
I followed this tournament pretty closely, Mark, and watched a lot of it and talked to a number of the guys who fished in it. And the thing that I found interesting, you had Jason going one way, completely opposite. You had Brock Mosley over in Houston, and you had guys who were right there in the ramp. So you had guys spread out 300 miles, 200 miles. I mean, it was freaking nuts.
That's what it would be.
And they all came down to like pounds and ounces of each other, doing completely different things, completely not fishing where anyone else is, completely fishing in crowds. It was really unique. And one of the things that I thought was interesting about this tournament was I was like, oh, okay, they're going to hit the Sabine at a good time. We've been there at crappy times in the past. It's actually going to show what the fishery is like. Dude, that place just doesn't have them.
Yeah.
Like Biggins, there's very few Biggins there.
3-pounders, man.
This is the second lowest weight in Elite Series history.
Remember, we were talking about Houston a little bit before that event started, and there is some good water over there. But, man, it's a long
That's a long way to drive to fish a freaking seawall.
Long way.
I mean, that's the honest truth, Mark. There's two canals with a couple seawalls and some freaking trees in the water. They're the same trees that McClellan and Creek caught them off of. They're the same trees that Brock Mosley and Zaldane and those guys were fishing this time. Yeah. You're driving 2.5 hours to fish 2 marginally productive canals.
Yeah. That's
that's
pressure.
the reality of it.
That's pressure. There was an enormous amount of pressure on those guys in all aspects about, making the first cut and then making that top 10. And then, those 3 or 4 guys that were somewhat in contention going into that final day, because who knows, you could have stumbled across an area and you catch a 4-pounder. Oh my gosh. I mean, that's
stumbled across an area on that place, Mark. There's literally like 4 areas that they live in. The rest of it's redfish, flounder, and gar.
Notice I said stumble.
Now that area
stumble.
Jason caught them out of. Has anyone ever caught them there before?
No, because here's the deal. I read what he said. He said you had to. There was literally a 20-mile stretch of nothing between where the guys are and then where he found this. And I think he had found it in a previous deal, but it is like 20 miles of the moon and then this like little oasis in there.
Yeah, it was cool stuff. All right,
the crowds were crazy, though. The crowds were nuts. It was amazing that Orange came back. Remember, this event was supposed to be later, and then they brought it back with Texas kind of opening stuff back up. So it was good to see that.
Yeah. Matthew, what about pressure on your side? Several people are asking, hey, you asked Brad about pressure situations. Are you feeling pressure fishing 9 events trying to make the Elite Series?
No, I mean, I've been pretty open over the past 10 years about how I deal with stress and pressure, and I try to make a game plan that alleviates that as far as minimal decisions, specific stuff that I do. I mean, I've been through it over and over again, and all that is to reduce the amount of pressure and anxiety and decision making that I have and just make it easy. And then you don't feel pressure if you don't have to make decisions. I mean, if you're not fishing at your peak performance, and a peak performance is you're making decisions without even knowing you're making decisions, so technically you're just reacting to the circumstances. Like if you're consciously making decisions, you're pretty much screwed. Would you agree, Brad?
Yeah.
Like if you're sitting there like wrestling in your head, like that for me typically doesn't go well. So I try to eliminate as many possibilities of that happening, which means you either really miss the boat or you get really dialed in on something and it seems really easy.
Yeah. Brad, several people want to know, having fished the Elite Series in prior years and now you're trying to requalify, do you feel pressure because you've been there before and you're doing everything you can to make it back?
Yeah, yes and no.
Yeah.
Like I say, I've been doing this long enough that I know the reality of what I'm up against, and I know what 200 boats are.
Yeah.
And trying to finish in the top 3 out of that is a chore. It's doable, with the amount of experience and stuff that I have, but I've got to have some breaks and things go my way. I try not to build up this huge wall that just makes it impossible to seem like it's going to happen. I don't know how I'm going to get there. I just know that if I keep my nose to the grindstone, it may take 2, 3, maybe even 4. I don't know, but I will get that door to crack. It's an uphill battle. You saw it last year. One of my roommates, Scott Martin, made it. It's tough, and I don't know that I put pressure on myself for it. Like one of my roommates, Andrew Upshaw, he's not even here. I think he's still out on the water practicing. That boy is serious about qualifying for the Elite Series. I can't do that. It works for him, doesn't work for me. I have to. I still have to live my life. Does that make sense? What I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I've got to still be me and fish my way, and I can't just press or let the stress or the pressure of it make me press. I've just got to go out and do my best every week. Now I will say this: the first event of the year, Florida, I'm still got the red ass over it. I'm not gonna lie. Everybody in this house is laughing right now that's behind this camera, but they all know it because I've been complaining about it for 2 months. I'm just glad we're getting another tournament going.
Yeah. No, I'm the same way with. I mean, like I said, Andrew's out there. My deal is when I feel like I'm not being productive anymore, I get off the water, and sometimes that's 4 p.m. Sometimes that's dark. Sometimes that's 5. It just whenever I feel like it, I get off the water. And I don't know. I like if I'm not feeling productive, I feel like it's counterproductive because then you have negative stuff in your head. And then you start getting stressed out that you're not catching them. And once any of that stuff comes in, you're not going to learn anything.
Matt's quite a bit younger than me. And, Mark, I mean, as we get a little older, like you can't go dark to dark quite the same as we did. If you want to keep your head come tournament day. I don't want to be a zombie when the tournaments start. And if I just pressed, I don't think I'd even be there. Like I even pack sandwiches now. Like used to, dude, it was just straight up Skol and Mountain Dew and 14-hour days, 15-hour days, however long that sun would stay up, it didn't matter. But I can't do that anymore.
Is that the new BTL shirt? Skol and Mountain Dew.
Skol and Mountain Dew.
I need to go check on the lasagna, so I'll be right back.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, the other shirt, Brad, was going to be my favorite color is 7.
That's what I was afraid Jeffrey was going to say after he came back from his brain injury.
I am. On the next run, we are going to do that. My favorite color is 7.
Matt said he was worried you were going to do that after your brain injury.
Yeah.
Back.
Yeah. Kind of crazy. All right. Several people want to know, Brad, while he's checking on the lasagna.
Yeah.
How do you know that the fish are either spawning or not spawning when you catch them?
Well, there's multiple ways that we figure that out. One, you see them. Yeah. 2, where they're located, right? It could even be offshore. And, location-wise, as far as depth and sunlight penetration, if they were on a hump or something like that, there's many, many signs. The bite itself, a lot of times, man, it can even be like a spinnerbait bite. Like I can tell a fish is spawning by the bite on a spinnerbait sometimes. I'm not making this up, dude. Like they'll knock it sideways and like they'll be, gone with the wind in like 3 seconds, like abnormally fast. And then like when you get them in, you've either barely got them hooked or you miss them. So the bite is one indication, and then
he can tell if a fish. Dude, Brad with spawning fish is insane. He was in Florida and he was like, "Yeah, I was fishing for a fish, but they've already been messed with." He could tell that he was blind fishing for bedfish that had already been caught or targeted just based on how they were hitting his bait.
Yeah, how picky they get.
Now, I mean, there's no way we can prove this, so I mean, maybe you're wrong, but it's just the fact that you.
Well, they get real picky. So hey, I fished a tournament at Thunderbird last Saturday, and I hadn't been over there in a year, and they are spawning at Thunderbird for any of you Okies that live around the OKC area.
Mm-hmm.
Pulled in on a little pocket towards the end of the day, and you could see 3 stumps, kind of spaced evenly, I'd say 25 yards apart. There was a bass on every single one of them. I saw one of them flash. That was the only one I saw. But I got that little – I'd power pole down, so I'm sitting still. So, you're asking, how do you know? Like, I've got a little bitty trick stick on and just a little 1/8 ounce weight, and it just barely – like, you almost second guess it in your mind. You're like, I know that was a fish. But it was just – something wasn't right for like 3 seconds. And, dude, I'm telling you, as much as I fished, you second guess it. But I continued probably 25, 30 casts. That's no exaggeration. At that stump. And finally, it was a 4-pounder.
Wow.
Did you win?
No, we did not win. We got blown out.
What did it take to win?
Almost 22.
Wow.
Daryl McClure. Daryl McClure
Oh,
was the best
well, they
fisherman
win
on
everything. They're literally the Kevin Van Dam.
But anyway, yeah, there's many ways to tell. Here's a good one. Billy was talking here. Billy got a bass. It's right behind the camera. When they're peeing, and that is true. The males a lot of times are peeing. It's happening here right now. When you catch a male, they're peeing, or if you just put a little pressure to their abdomen, they pee. And that's a good sign of a spawning bass.
Yeah. All right, good stuff. All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break. Is the lasagna done, Matt?
We have 9 minutes to lasagna, so that would be that would put us right where we need to be.
Yeah, so let's take a quick break, come back. I'm going to tell you what's going on at Lake X, Bradley, for a couple hours. We'll wrap things up here on a Monday night, so everybody stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Utilizing my experience, utilizing my time on the water, evolving as an angler, and that evolution should never stop. You have to do it every day. From when you wake up in the morning, you got to be thinking about changing, continually changing every minute, every cast. That's really the premise of fishing the moment.
Hey everyone, Brandon Polnick here. People always be asking me what I got tied on. And I'm like, X-Zone lures. And they're like, Brandon, why you got X-Zone lures tied on? And I'm like, let me show you why. The bite. Get out of there. Get out of there. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's pretty big. Get in here. Oh, God. Giant. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. I think you get the point.
Pro-inspired, pro-designed. Tested and proven by legends on the water. Dominating the tournament trail for over 50 years. Everything you need, one legendary brand. Strike King.
Hey guys, Major League Fishing Pro Jacob Wheeler here with my new Signature Series line of rods with Duck It Fishing. We have my 7.2 cranking rod right here. Crankbaits can be very fickle, and having the right, having a lot of tip can be too much, and having not enough tip can, lose a lot of fish. So you really got to be careful. If there's 1 or 2 techniques that I'm really adamant about having the perfect action is a crankbait, especially like the square bill, a DT6. Those medium running crankbaits in the springtime, when those fish's mouth are pretty tough, that's when I'm really on top of having my actions just perfect.
All right, we are back here on a special Monday night show with Bradley Hallman and Matt. They are live from Douglas Lake getting ready for the Open, and we're going to wrap up this show real quick. Brad, got to let you know, and folks out there, I'm not anywhere close to 100%, but I ran into a guy, his name's Jack. I worked with him at UPS for over 20 years. Hadn't seen him for a long time. Ran into him here recently. He moved back to Norman, and we've been catching up a lot, and I said, hey, man, I really would like to try and get back on the water, see if I can fish a little bit, probably an hour, maybe a couple hours. There's a very special lake that we call Lake X, and I'd really like to go there, make sure the boat runs and all that and everything. He's like, yeah, I'll go with you, because there's no way I'm going by myself for quite some time until I at least get close to 100%. So, Brad, we went up there. We made the milk run. The milk run that you and I did, it takes about an hour and a half. If you really milk it, it can take up to 2 hours. We caught, I caught 10. He caught 8. He caught 8 in 2 hours. The biggest one I caught was 5. But this is weird, Brad, and maybe you can explain this. All right, water temp 59 to 62.
Okay.
All right, they're not spawning yet, in my opinion. Didn't see any beds. They would not bite a spinnerbait. We didn't catch one fish on a spinnerbait. It was cloudy, and then it was sunny for a little while, and then it was cloudy again. Did not catch one fish. Every single fish was caught flipping.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
Every single fish that we caught did not look like they were post spawn.
You throw a Carolina rig?
No, you don't throw a Carolina rig.
You throw a Zara spook?
No. I threw a frog, I threw a spinnerbait, and I flipped, and that was it.
Should have Carolina rigged him, Mark.
No, you can't do that there. You can't do that. But I thought a lot about, we have 2 really special trips up there, Brad, and it was kind of the same in that short period of time that we were up there. But I was absolutely shocked that we did not get bit on a spinnerbait. Here's the other thing. The lake is at normal pool. It's not high. It's not low. It's just at normal pool. We managed to get into the magical area.
Really?
Barely.
Wow.
All right. So if the lake is anywhere below normal pool, you can't get in there. But I managed to get in there. That was the last place we went, and I caught 3 in there. 3 in there, dude. And the 5-pounder came in that one area. Folks, I can't tell you, though, both of you guys, it was so good to get out there and fish a little bit again. But I'll be honest, that next day I was wiped. I was totally wiped, and I was only on the water for a couple hours.
Dude, I'll be honest. I've taken a lot of friends fishing through the years, and you and I experienced that together, and I've not taken anyone else there since.
Yeah.
And you've got to enjoy it. And I think that, like, in life, dude, like that's something that I'm happy that I was able to share with you, because I'm not home all the time, right? And that place is a gym right now, and it does allow you to go up there, do what you did, and it's just incredible. But that's awesome, dude. I don't know why they would eat the. I don't know why they would eat the.
There it is, right there.
There it is.
There's Jeffries with his 5-pounder.
Yeah, and I had to get it out of the jungle, man. It was in there pretty deep, Bradley.
Yeah, that place is like Lake Falcon, isn't it? It's gnarly.
So we got to get back there, man. As soon as you get back, we definitely, you and I, hopefully I can go more than 2 hours. And things are going good. I'm gradually progressing. Don't know if I'm going to be on the lane soon. I'm kind of thinking maybe another couple weeks to where I get my strength back a little bit. But, man, it was cool to be on the water. Guess how many boats we saw?
How many?
0.
Yeah.
0. Not another bass boat anywhere.
That's good stuff.
So it is a very, very special place.
You got guys on this show that are like,
been.
will kill. They're trying. Their wheels are spinning, and it'll kill them trying to figure
I've
it
never
out.
been.
Yeah, it's a special place, man. It really is, and I think it's going to continue to be a special place because it's a long ways for a lot of people, and it was worth the trip. It was worth the time it took to get there, to spend 2 hours on the water, and really, really enjoyed it. But I was shocked, when somebody said, "Hey, you should have thrown a bladed jig." Jack threw a bladed jig, never got a bite.
Wow.
The only way we got bit was flipping.
I mean,
that's it.
Maybe they had locked down and started spawning, Mark. I mean, that is a possibility.
Yeah. But, a lot of times that happens in certain lakes, you can throw that frog up there, and they'll get mad and they'll be really aggressive if it gets close to that bed, and they'll bust on it. Not even a blow up. Nothing.
The biggest bag that I was ever part of in Oklahoma, Larry Bryant and I fished a tournament at Grand Lake. It was a big tournament, big team tournament, just a one-dayer. And we had 27 pounds. We were in my boat, but Larry ran the trolling motor all day long and threw a half-ounce spinnerbait.
Yeah.
And he didn't weigh it. Well, he did weigh a bass in. I culled it. I had one bigger, but he told me he didn't care because we didn't need it. So we kept the smaller one instead of the bigger one because he was going to be damn fit tied. He was weighing in a bass that he'd caught in the stringer. So we weighed in his fish. And anyway, he threw the spinnerbait all day, and I flipped behind him. Exactly what you're talking about. It was incredible. He would go by bushes, throw that spinnerbait in there and never get a bite. I'd flip that tube in there, and boom, I'd catch it.
Yeah. Was catching them on the BFE, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the one pack. The one pack that I have, I used them all up, man. So
was that the pack that was sitting on the desk right there?
Yeah, it's not there anymore. That's because it doesn't exist.
The BFE in BTL.
Yeah. I mean, they were annihilating it.
I don't know if it's going to go to the public or not, but Brad and I got a little sneak peek at some BFE shirts.
Oh, yeah, we did.
I mean, they're pretty cool.
They're legit.
I don't know if Big Bite's going to actually go into production with them. I think we might get a couple, though. But if they do, that'll be on the Big Bite website.
Well, I know a couple people that have a connection where I might be able to get some more BFEs before we go back to Lake X, Bradley.
Yeah, I know a guy, too.
So it was a great time, and, man, that is a very, very special place, and honestly, it was good to be back on the water. The one thing, and Matt, you will appreciate this, the one thing that Jack, the guy, we hadn't been in the boat together for 20-something years. And I told Brad this the last couple of times that we were on that lake. If you want to improve your flipping skills, that is a great place to do it. And Jack turned to me and he goes, "Man, I never knew you could flip that good. You've been practicing, haven't you?" Well, because I was putting it, Brad, you got to put it in some of those little nooks and crannies.
Yep.
And dude, I was dialed in, getting them out, winching them out of the freaking frozen tundra, man. It was a good time. It was a really good time, man.
Where did that come from?
I don't know. Anyway.
You got a great trip.
This is on a roll, dude. He went on a pressure rant. You referred to Lake X as a frozen tundra.
Yeah, it's good stuff. All right, guys. How many more days of practice? 3 more? 2 more?
A day and a half.
A day and a half.
Yeah,
okay.
1 more full day, and then we have to be off the water by noon on Wednesday. So, yeah, it's like...
It feels like 20 minutes. Don't listen to what he's saying, and don't say a day and a half like it's forever.
No, I wasn't. I was saying...
I feel like I hadn't found a crap, and I've got like 20 minutes to
I learned this saying on BTL, and then I learned the genesis of the saying. It is nut cutting time.
Nut cutting.
No?
Which has nothing to do with, like, nuts.
That
it has to do with, like, the nuts and bolts. Remember that when we went through that last year, Mark?
Yeah, I remember that. I
You
remember
know where
that.
that saying comes from? Where do you think it comes from?
I think it comes from East Tennessee.
Yeah, I think Brad's right. He might be right.
Oh,
man.
here's the other one. This is Okie. Dead nuts. It's dead nuts. You know what dead nuts means?
No, what does that mean?
It means it's spot on.
No, I knew that, but what does it actually, like, where does that saying come from?
I don't know. I think it's an Oklahoma word. Term, not word. Phrase.
All right, man. Well, we're going to let you go. Matt, are we going to check in with you in the morning?
Yeah, I'll be in an area that has service.
All right.
You can watch me spin out live.
All right. We'll kick off the show tomorrow. Special guest host tomorrow, Ken Duke. And then a jam-packed show. We'll have Jason Christie, and then we'll have Fletcher Shryock on the second half of the show, guys. All right, man. Day and a half. You guys continue to get after it. Hopefully good things will happen when things kick off on Thursday. But appreciate you doing the PM show here. I know a lot of people on the instant feedback really enjoy us doing the evening show. And for the remainder of the week, we'll be back at the regular time, 8:30 a.m.
Merch shop now open. Link on basszone.com. Also on my Instagram. I'll put it on the YouTube, but it is open for 13 days. That's it?
Yeah, I think so. All right. There will be other opportunities, but might be a while. So this is your chance to get your BTL merch and help Matt out on his quest that he has this year, Fishing 9 Open. So, Brad, Matt, best of luck. Matt, we'll talk to you tomorrow. Brad, anytime you want to jump on here, man, just let me know.
All right, brother.
I'll send you the link. Good luck, you guys, and we'll talk to everybody tomorrow. That's it, folks. In the PM, we are out of here.